Good morning, everyone. You are listening to the brand new Elected podcast as a part of our ongoing coverage of the 2018 midterms here at Elected News. Coming up today, we have 100 days until you go to the polls for the 2018 midterm elections. All that and more on episode 100 days, for July 29th, 2018. This is the Elected Podcast. Good to be using the vintage theme song again. Welcome everyone again to the Elected Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Radel. Now, before we start in with the news, I just wanted to say that this is episode 1 in hopefully a 10-episode podcast covering the 2018 midterm elections, which will be occurring in just 100 days on November 6th. So, obviously, get out there and vote. If you're able to vote, register. It's very important that your voice is heard. Every 10 days, we are going to be coming out with an episode, so we'll have guests on, and we'll discuss the various news in the 2018 midterm elections. As far as local races go, for the New York 22 is where we're here in the Utica-Rome area. We have interviewed both Claudia Tenney and Anthony Brindisi. Their interviews are available now on our YouTube channel. There are 2 parts to both interviews. They are also discussing the No Hospital Downtown movement. If you've not already checked it out, we have a Downtown Utica Hospital mini-series, which is available. We have 4 parts out now. There's a 5th part coming out very soon, and so there'll be more interviews for that as well. Be sure to visit that on YouTube. Also, we have a website, sites.google.com/view/elected. It is pretty long, so I'll leave a link in the description below. And so be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share before we begin here. And so for the next 100 days, we will be doing 2018 midterm coverage. We're in full election mode here at Elected News. And we will have plenty more surprises as it goes along, including a live election night special on November 6th, 2018. We'll be live from Elected News headquarters. And so that should be really, really fun. As I said, I'm your host, Luke Radel, and let's jump right into the news. In the national news today regarding the 2018 midterms, on Friday, President Trump met with the National Security Council about election meddling, specifically about Russia's meddling in the 2016 election and their attempts to meddle in the 2018 midterms. The White House released a statement that criticized any foreign powers who would get involved in our elections. They did not mention Russia specifically, and they said that no new actions are being taken to subvert meddling in the 2018 elections and in the 2020 presidential campaign. Now, this whole committee from the National Security Council seemed a bit like a formality, because Trump was the chair of it because they couldn't find anyone to be in charge. There have been, no new actions from them as of yet. This is, again, just the first meeting of this new council, so anything can happen, but it seems like they're just doing it just to say that they did it and to kind of get it over with, which is unfortunate because it's a very important thing messing with our democratic election. Now, over in the Senate, new polls from NBC News are suggesting a bit of a blue wave over in the Midwest. 3 very important states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota, are set to flip blue in the Senate 2018 elections. According to NBC News Marist polling, all the Democratic candidates for not only Senate races but governorships are up by double digits in the latest polling. Now, back in 2016, the president won Wisconsin and Michigan, which helped him secure the electoral votes he needed to become the president, and he narrowly lost Minnesota to Hillary Clinton. So to see that these states are now going full blue by double digits, according to this new NBC Marist polling, is very interesting to see and to watch how these states might flip blue and give the Senate back to the Democrats. Last and definitely not least, we go over to the House of Representatives, where all 435 seats in the House will be up for election here on the ballot in 2018. Now, in a letter, Representative Jim Jordan announced that he's going to be in the running to replace Paul Ryan as Speaker of the House. Paul Ryan will be stepping down after the 2018 elections. He will no longer be the Speaker of the House, and so Jim Jordan is going to try to replace him. Now, say what you will about Paul Ryan, Jim Jordan is a very divisive representative. He is with the Freedom Caucus on the far right, very conservative. And if you watch, I'll leave a link in the description below, his questioning of FBI agent Peter Strzok. He was very on the attack of Peter Strzok. And so he would be someone that would not be going for unity, in my opinion. He'd be someone who is more fighting for very extreme conservative policies. Now, as a Republican, I'd say that I'm looking for more of a moderate, still someone who would stand up for conservative values and being pro-life and all that and supporting human rights. But at the same time, we'd have someone who is actually willing to work with Democrats to reach across party lines in an event. Someone like Paul Ryan, actually. And, say what you will about his guts and the reasons he won't stand up to the president and all of that. But Paul Ryan is someone who can work with Democrats and Republicans. And I don't think you can say the same for Jim Jordan. Now, with analysts they're saying that Jim Jordan will most likely not become Speaker of the House. He doesn't have the votes. Again, he's very divisive among some Republicans as well, those moderate Republicans, and even some of his own far-right Freedom Caucus Republicans. So he's been known to make a bit of trouble for himself, so he will most likely not be the Speaker of the House, but he did announce that he is running. And that is if the Republicans are able to maintain a majority in the House. According to a new article from the Washington Post, many Washington insiders believe that Democrats will take back the House in 2018. Now, this wouldn't be uncommon. Back in 2010, when Obama was in his second year in office, Republicans took back the Senate and the House. And so they held on to it for a very long time. So it's not very unrealistic to believe that the Democrats would take back the House. But many of them cite the new retirements of long-held Republican seats in very competitive districts in Florida, Pennsylvania, California, states that are crucial to maintaining a Republican majority in the House. And these people are retiring. And they also cite just general unhappiness on both sides with the progress that's been made in these past 2 years by Congress. Thank you very much for listening to this Elected podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great videos and podcasts like these. This is the first time we've ever really done something like this. So if you liked it, be sure to comment below. Tell us what you thought. You can send us an email at watchelected@gmail.com. If you have a question to ask, you want me to answer it on the show, comment it below. And be sure to hit that like button. Share this video with your friends. And make sure that you're up to date. We're going to be having many more guests on the show. As I said before, the live election special will be on November 6th, Election Day. So be sure to register to vote. Get out there. Make sure your voice has been heard. So we'll have many guests on here, many more surprises in the weeks ahead. You have 100 days until the midterm elections. Thanks for listening to this first ever Elected podcast. I'm your host, Luke Radel.